set up. Contender regime boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? What's happening? Hope y'all enjoyed a very light night of boxing. You know what I'm saying? A cool little DAZN card, man. Shout out to JARON Ennis. Shout out to David Avanesyan. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to David Avanesyan for stepping in for Cody Crowley, who was doing all that talking, but couldn't even make it to the fight. You know what I'm saying? But I hope everything worked out for Cody Crowley. I fuck with Cody Crowley. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little salty because I really wanted to see that matchup, but he couldn't make it. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate everybody for pulling up. You feel me? The card was pretty good. I liked the Jaleel Hackett and Peter Dobson fight. It was pretty good. But of course everybody wanted to see Jaron Ennis. I want to give y'all my just my initial thoughts post fight. What I thought about Jaron Ennis's performances, well, his performance in this fight, and then just simple critiques, nothing major. We have to consider the fact that Jaron Ennis has been out the ring for over a year. Make sure y'all hit that like button as you slide through as well. I appreciate it. We have to consider the fact that Jaron Ennis has been out the ring for quite some time. And that's something that we always talk about here in terms of activity. You can be in a gym, all day, every day, but it's different when you under the lights with 8-ounce gloves on, with no headgear where everything counts, and you're gonna get a different level of energy from your opponent as well. And then there's gonna be a different level of energy from yourself, adrenaline, focus, all these different things come into play, which is why you see guys that may be gym rats that's always in the gym, in the off season and camp, but when they get in the ring though, you will see a difference when they have a lot of inactivity. You feel what I'm saying? We know Boost was going through what he went through in terms of the network that he was with, promotional outfit, so he couldn't get the fights that he needed. So that's one thing. I ain't gonna put that on Boots because Boots is one of those guys that before the whole situation with Cameron Duncan and them, before they fell out, he was fighting consistently. You know what I mean? You see, he's 27 right now. Already got 31 fight. Well, this is his 32nd fight, so that's a lot of fights for where he's at in his career. So he's been active, but lately he's been inactive. And I think we saw some of the a result of that in the ring because I felt like he got hit with too many right hands. Jaron Ennis haven't really been like a super defensive guy. He's always been offense heavy. So I mean, that's not nothing crazy in terms of him sacrificing a little bit of defense just so he can be in perfect position to get his offense out. That's what Boost Ennis do. You know what I'm saying? He's an extremely gifted offensive fighter, and he is sharp on defense when he want to be. I think if Boost is more active, more well oiled and in rhythm in terms of timing and all those things and sharpness, I think you will see a better defensive performance. I don't think David Avanesyan was doing anything like super sophisticated to get Boots to drop that drop his left hand and was taking those right hands. I think Avanesyan was simply just throwing shots when Boots throw. He was just because Boots gonna be right there for the offense. So Avanesyan's game plan was like shit. Fuck it. Whenever he throw, I'ma throw. You know what I'm saying? Because some gonna be open. But I thought Boots his offense looked good. His punches was sharp. He could have been sharper going to the body. You could tell that because of the height difference, he was struggling to kind of get low and get the leverage that he wanted to get on those shots to the body. But that didn't stop him. He stayed, even after the low blow in the first round, he kept on going, sticking with the game plan of going to the body and breaking David Avanesyan down. I thought that was good. He didn't shy away from the game plan at all. I thought that was good. As far as just looking at his offense, I thought the jab was good. I know that Jaron Ennis says that his switching is natural, and He don't even realize when he switches. That could be good and that could be bad. For it could be good because it's unpredictable, right? So if it's unpredictable and you just switching just because it feels natural to you in the ring, it can throw your opponent off. And we can see that Boots fights phenomenally from both stances. So that's definitely an advantage for him. So it could be, you got the unpredictability, you got the whole, like, it's a different look, so that could throw your opponent off. But also, when you switching, when you don't need to be switching, when there is no real reason to be switching, you can get yourself caught in the line of fire when you squaring up in the middle of a switch, because you might be in there with a more seasoned veteran guy, a more intellectual fighter that pick up on when you switching. If it's a natural tendency that Boost have to switching, just when he feel it, you might have a guy that pick up on that, and as soon as you're in the middle of that switch, you get caught with something. I also felt like he was doing so well in the orthodox, it wasn't no need to switch. You just take a guy like Terrence Crawford, who is known for being a switch hitter. Terrence is more strategic when it comes to switching. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford, he makes a strategic decision and a conscious decision to switch. You feel me? Like, for instance, in the Kell Brook fight, he came out orthodox. Kell Brook's jab was getting in a little bit too much, more than what Terrence Crawford would like, so he switched to southpaw so he could take that jab away. You know what I mean? When Terrence Crawford fought Earl Spence, he stayed, he was southpaw the whole fight because he knew that would give him the advantage to be able to, to give Earl Spence a look that he's not used to fighting a southpaw. And then also he knew he would be able to get his jab there quicker than Earl Spence. So it's like it's more conscious for a guy like Terrence Crawford to switch. For Boost, it seemed like it's just a natural instinct. And like I said, that could be good and bad. Overall, it was a good performance. Shout out to the brother Hackman in the building. Shout out to the brother Boxing Gyms in the building. What's good? You know what I'm saying? Let me rinse my brother up, man. I always see you in on the IG and in the chat as well. You know what I'm saying? Showing love. Let me rinse my brother up. Shout out to my brother D Luckin in the building. What's good? Yeah, like the brother D Lucky just said, he said Crawford switches is thought out and intentional. That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to the brother A Sing in the building, said, you think Boost can beat Bud? If you're asking, is it possible? Does he have the ability to and the talent? I think so, but as I've said before, I'm picking Terrence Crawford over Boots right now. I think Terrence Crawford is very much so in his prime right now. I think Terrence Crawford, he's the best fighter on the planet. Just keeping it all the way 100. And I think that a lot of the holes that you saw in Boost's game tonight, and it wasn't a lot. It was, shout out to the brother Devin Block in the building. Like, let's not overly critique this brother on this performance, because like I said, you got to keep in mind he was on a layoff. You got to keep in mind this is a replacement. You got to keep in mind, because David Avanesyan, last minute replacement, right? He can switch, but Boost was supposed to be fighting Cody Crowley, who is a natural southpaw. So these are things you got to keep into effect, and we have to keep into account the home field. Fighting in your hometown, that's a thing. Guys kind of get out of character a little bit when you fighting at home. Some guys start to forget their defenses and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep that into account. So I'm not going to overly critique Boost's performance. It was a good performance. He did what he supposed to do, stopped him. The left hand was beautiful that he dropped Avanesyan with. Avanesyan is tough. We know that. He going to go some rounds with you. I just thought Boost was a little bit careless on defense. And I felt like sometimes his offense can feel rushed. Shout out to the OG Mr. Month. I just said that. So he said, I don't think Boots set anything up. His offense just flows. Bud sets up a lot of his shots. That's a fact. And that's why I just said, shout out to the OG. That's why I just said sometimes I feel like Boost offense be rushed. You know what I mean? That was a critique that I had for him going, around the time where he fought Chris Van Heerden. And he actually showed me some things. Shout out to my brother Core Official in the building. What's good, man? Let me wrench my brother up. You know what I'm saying? That's family right there. Brother gotta have a wrench. Hold on. Let me make sure, bro, good. You feel what I'm saying? Uh, right. So that was a critique that I had for him in the Chris Van Heerden fight, and then prior to that. But then, as you can see, after that, when he fought Sergey Lipinets, he paced himself. He set up everything behind the jab. He was patient. He didn't rush his offense. You know what I mean? He let everything come to him. And I saw a little bit of a rush in this fight as far as his offense. I think once Boots get more active, because again, inactivity is one of the biggest threats and enemies to these fighters. Being out the ring for too long, your timing is off, your accuracy is off. You just don't have that rhythm. But once Boots is, get back active, I think you will see him sharper on defense. I think you'll see a little bit more patience, setting things up behind the jab. I love the body work that he did. I think that was one of the things that opened up that left hand that dropped David Avanesyan. But I mean, overall, it was a good performance. A good performance. I would like to see him go after Brian Norman Jr. I think that's a great fight. I think the bigger fight at 47 for Boost right now would be Mario Barrios, because Barrios right now has been on a win streak. He's been putting on good performances. We know that fight is an attractive fight for the fans because it's going to be action-packed. Barrios is going to throw shots. He's going to be right there to fight. Barrios can box a little bit too, but he's going to be right there to fight. So I like the Barrios fight. I really like the Boots versus Barrios fight a lot. To be honest with you, I would prefer to see the Barrios fight first, because this is just me being biased, because I'm more of a fan of Boots and what's my boy name, Brian Norman Jr. over Barrios, right? So I would like to see them go ahead and get it on. That's a unification. And then Brian Norman, I believe he's been elevated to a full-time champion now. You got Stanionis at 47 as well. So if I'm Boots, I'm going out the Barrios first. I think that's the more attractive fight. It's a winnable fight. You'll be the favorite in that fight. It's a unification, and I think that fight sells. You can do that fight in Philadelphia as well. That fight sells, and then you go after Stanionis. You know what I'm saying? Who about to fight Pacquiao? D Lucky, who about to fight Pacquiao? You said Barrios finna fight Pacquiao? Pac-Man old ass need to sit down somewhere, man. He should have been set his ass down. He should have retired after the Keith Thurman fight. But so I would like to see Boost go after Mario Barrios first. Then you go after Imantas Stanionis. I love that fight. I'm a huge fan of Imantas Stanionis. I love his game. The dude is like a robot, a machine in there. He just keep throwing punches to the body, to the head. He got a chin on him. I think Boost would get tested in that fight versus Stanionis. I think Boost gets tested versus Stanionis. I think his chin gets tested. We already seen him take a good shot versus Lipinets. We seen him take some right hands versus David Avanesyan. I think Boost gets tested versus Stanionis. And if he gets past Stanionis, give me Jaron Boost Ennis versus Brian Norman Jr. for Undisputed. And then you go on up to 154. I don't think Boost need to be, worrying himself and bothering himself with Terrence Crawford right now. Number one, the only reason you should move up to 54 is if you're absolutely done with 47. I don't advocate for fighters moving up and down. You feel what I'm saying? I never really believed in that. Shout out to AC, said, I don't believe anybody can beat Boots. I ain't gonna argue with you on that, brother, because I think Boots is an incredible talent, and he really got everything. You know what I'm saying? I do see some holes in this game, but I see holes in everybody's game. Ain't no fighter perfect. You know what I'm saying? I told y'all I think, Tank Davis right now. He probably one of the few guys. Terrence Crawford, Tank Davis, two of the few guys that where you can. It's hard to find holes in a game, but even them, if I study film close enough, I'm gonna find some that they need to work on too. You feel what I'm saying? But I feel you. Boost is an incredible fighter, but I think he struggles against Terrence Crawford right now, and I feel like you don't go up to 54 to fight Terrence Crawford right now, unless you're absolutely done with 47. Because I saw him, the weight cut. Boots is a big guy. I don't know how he making 47, but he doing it. If he feel healthy, he say he feel good. That's good. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I don't like the idea of him going to 54 if he's still planning to campaign at 47. And then at the same time, bruh, just leave Terrence Crawford alone right now until you ready to really go up there and do that. And Terrence Crawford got his hands full on August 3rd versus Madrimov. I think that's gonna be a good fight, but I got Terrence Crawford pulling that off, of course. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, go after Mario Barrios and then Stanionis and then Brian Norman Jr. If they can do Ennis Barrios and then have Stanionis and have Stanionis and Brian Norman Jr. fight, I like that. I like that. Let me see what y'all saying. So said keep Crawford away from Boots. Said Boots can't give Bud them opportunities to land shots on the inside. No. Look, I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. Look, man. It's a lot of opportunities that I saw for a guy like Terrence Crawford versus Boots. Now again, I don't think this is a fair fight to judge Boots off of, right? I don't think this is a fight where you can just say, okay, that's Boots Ennis. That's what you can expect every time out. That's the film you watch when you prepare for Boots. No, I don't think that's this fight that y'all just seen that we just watched. I don't think this is the film that you watch to prepare for Boots. You might take this film and say, well, this is an opportunity that I could take advantage of. But this ain't you. When you watch film of a guy, you want to watch them at their best. You know what I'm saying? You want to watch everything, but you want to see what this guy is capable of when he's at his very best. You feel me? I don't think this the film that you take and be like, all right, this Boots. Because I think you get him in there 4 months from now, 3 or 4 months. I say 3 months. Get back in there in 3 months, 2.5, 3 months. I know that's asking for a lot, but get in there. I say get in there in 3 months. Anybody. Get you somebody that you can, you know what I mean? If you need, this was your stay busy fight. This your tune up. So get back in there in 3 months versus Barrios. And then I think you will see a sharper Boots. You will see a sharper Boots. But so I'm not gonna judge Boots just off this fight, but I saw opportunities for Terrence Crawford before this. That's why, I felt like right now, I just think Terrence Crawford too much for him. You know what I'm saying? I just think Terrence Crawford too much for him. Shout out to the brother, Sing in a super chat, coming through and showing love. And I hope I'm saying your name right, brother. I think I always fuck your name up too, man. I don't know if it's a sign or a Sing. But he said, Boost look rusty. Hold on. He said, Boost look rusty tonight, but look damn near phenomenal against Villa. We need short hair Boots again. That's what I'm saying. And I'll be honest with you. I think Romain Villa was a tougher opponent. Now we know styles make fights. Avanesyan a little bit more awkward than Romain Villa. Romain Villa is a little bit more straight up and down, but I think he got more power than Avanesyan. He's bigger. I feel like he was younger. You know what I'm saying? I felt like the Villa performance was way more impressive because Villa coming off a Rashidi Ellis win. Villa also, he's just a imposing figure. I like Villa a lot. Well, I like that fight for Boots, and I like that performance that Boots put on versus Villa. So I think that was a more impressive performance. And you saw Boots look way sharper on offense and defense. So I'm not going to judge Boots just off of this fight. It was a good performance nonetheless. Shout out to the brother, the Casanova pugilist in the building. What's good? Said no, this is the closest we get for Bud versus Boots. It has to happen soon, or we'll never get it. I feel that. Look, I'm not saying I don't want to see the fight. Don't get it messed up. I would love to see JARON Ennis versus Terrence Crawford right now. What I'm saying, if I am a handler of Boots, if I'm handling Boots, I'm not going to advocate for him to go up to 54 and fight Terrence Crawford right now. Because you're foregoing 147. You know what I'm saying? You're foregoing 47 at that point. If Boots go to 54 right now, he's not coming back down. And I feel like it's just too much food on the plate right now at 47. It's too much money to be made. It's too much food on the plate right now. You got unification opportunities. You got big time fights like Barrios and Brian Norman Jr. And I think that fight gonna turn into a big deal down the line. Because at 54, you get it's a lot of dogs at 54. A lot of money at 54 too. But do you really want to forego everything that's at 47 right now? Because you got to think, he's not going to be able to make this weight for that long. I see Boots being away from 47. He going to have to get out of 47 within a year and a half. I don't see Boots lasting more than a year and a half at 47. He can't make that weight too much longer. Shout out to the brother Shy Rider, West Side of 23 in the building. What's good? Said Boots need to skip 47 and go to 54 where the real smoke is. Let's get it. Boots too damn big for 47. I feel you, bro. Now look, if he's planning on saying fuck 47 and he don't want to get none of that money at 47 and he don't want to, eat some of that food at 47, and pad his record up a little bit more. You feel me? Build that following in Philadelphia even more, similar to how Bud did in Omaha, how Earl did in Dallas. Like, build up that home base, get you a Barrios in Philly. Get you a Brian Norman Jr. in Philly. You feel me? Get you a Monte Stanionis in Philly. If he don't want to do that, and you just want to go straight to 54 and fight Bud, by all means, do it. I don't think that's the best business decision to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Terrence Crawford is the favorite in that fight. And I think, Terrence Crawford right now, I think he'll get Boots, man. Right now, he'll get Boots. And so what does that do? You set the brother back. You know what I'm saying? When he still got time to develop. You feel me? Then, now that don't mean your career over with. You still got Virgil Ortiz. You got Earl Spence at 54. Ain't no telling how long he gonna be around. You got Tim Tszyu at 54. You still got Jermell Charlo at 54. Keep in mind, Jermell is younger than Terrence Crawford. So these guys is gonna be around 9 times out of 10. These guys gonna be around a little bit longer than Bud, right? It's a lot of money at 54. It's a lot of big fights at 54 as well. So I don't think it's something that Boots need to be rushing into. If you get Terrence Crawford, cool. If you don't get him, to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? I try to age out Terrence Crawford as long as I can. You know what I'm saying? Wait till he get to that point where he got 3 belts at 54. That shit might be soon though. The way Bud moving, he fuck around and get, because they gonna have the WBO and the WBA on the line, right? On August 3rd. So that's 2 off top. And then, Earl and Fundora, they fighting for the WBC. You dig what I'm saying? So, shit, Bud will have his hand on 3 belts within a year's time. You feel me? But if I'm Boots, I'm trying to age Bud out a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Let him get 38. You know what I'm saying? Wait till he's 37. Let him get 37 and a half, 38. Let's see how he look in this fight versus Madrimal. I'm just saying, I don't think it's smart for Boots to be trying to. If Bud was still at 47 right now, I'm all for it. Go get him. But he in a whole nother division. Why don't even worry yourself with a dude in a whole nother division for what? When you got food on your plate in your division. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got a lot of options. A lot of options. A lot of options. Said make that Bud fight his third or fourth fight at 54. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He got a lot of options. A lot of options. Shout out to the brother EF said, what's good, bro? I don't want Boost to fight Bud. He got hit too much. I'm just leaving the fight. He said it wasn't looking good in the third and fourth rounds. So that brother was at the fight. He said he just leaving the fight. So, you know, he have a different vantage point than we have watching at the crib on TV. One might say that we can see certain things that you can't see. And that's true, because comparing my view from watching at home and from when I'm actually at fights, there's things that I can see at home that I don't see at the fight. But then there's also certain things that you can see and you can hear and you can feel in the arena at the fight that you don't get a chance to experience when you're watching on TV. So the brother said he was getting hit too much. I saw that on TV. And he said that it wasn't looking good. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. You know, that's what I'm saying. I just think he, you know, it looked like he a little rusty. You know what I mean? A little rusty. That's all it is. And he do a little bit of telegraphing too. That's another thing JARON Ennis got to work on. You know what I'm saying? With that right hand, you know, he'll do a little bit of telegraphing. I like his work on the inside. You know, when he pin you with that shoulder, and then he'll push off a little bit and then let off a little 3-punch combination. Typically, it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, left uppercut. If he in a southpaw, he'll throw left uppercut. You know what I'm saying? Then bring a right hook and then come back with another left uppercut, something like that. I love when Boost let his combinations off, especially when he getting clean shots in too. It's just a beautiful thing to see. I said, yeah, Boost took a lot of clean shots. One thing we gotta also say is that so far in his career, Boost done showed that he got a chin. I done seen Boost get hit a couple of times. I done seen Boost get hit a couple of times on the chin, and he looked good. He looked good. The first time I really just seen him take a clean power shot, just clean on the chin, was that right hand that he took versus Sergey Lipinets. I believe that was a right hand. You know what I'm saying? But see, a guy like Terrence Crawford, man, he gonna take advantage of all that. He gonna take advantage of all that. Said it's hard not to get hit when you go on the inside. Oh boy, didn't have enough to hurt him. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. I was talking to one of my boys, and you know, he was like, shit, if David had a little bit more pop, man, Boost might been in trouble. Cause he was landing those right hands on the button. Y'all know the ones that hit you right there on the chin, the ones that hit you like right here on your nose bone, you know what I'm saying? Like right there. We know the shots that be causing reactions. We know them shots. You know, over the top of the head, them temple shots. David was landing a couple of those. You know what I'm saying? He landed some straight right hands, clean, but he just ain't have what it takes to actually get that reaction. So shout out to the brother Start Shooting Facts or Straight Shooting Facts. Said, what's good, bro? Just left the fight. Said, I'm guessing it was ring rust or either an invite for Boots. Hold on. I'm sorry. He said, guess it was ring rust or either invite for those big names he looking for. That's a good point too. Because a lot of times when you have a guy young on a tear, knocking everything out, when you have a guy like that, you don't really get the big fight opportunities until you look human. You know what I'm saying? You don't really get those big opportunities until people see that, okay, he's good, but he bleeds. He's good, but he got, you know, issues. You know You know what I'm saying? He's good, but there's things that he can work on. You feel me? So this could be one of those situations where he like, let me go in, you know what I'm saying, and just go balls to the wall, straight offense, and maybe get hit a couple of times so I can get those big fights. I don't think that's the good move because you never want to go in there and just let a motherfucker hit you. You know, you want to look sharp every time. Shout out to the brother D Luckett in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said, Boots has a flashy style. He's going to have to take away a little bit of that flashiness. That's not going to work against Bud. That's a fact. That's a fact. And see, that goes back to, I mentioned this a couple of years ago in regard to Boots. And not just Boots, is other fighters that have that as well. You got to have the substance. The substance have to outweigh the flashiness and the entertainment aspect of your game, right? So if you're a showman, if you're a guy with great hand speed, great power, you just a showman, you like to put on a great performance for the fans, that's all cool. But you have to have more substance backing that up, more of a foundation, more skill, more strategy, more IQ. You have to have more of that you standing on outside of the flashiness. Prime example, Adrian Broner. He got more flash than he got actual skills and IQ and fundamentals and shit like that. You feel me? So I hope that's not Boots. I do agree with the brother D Luckett that when you do fight a guy like Terrence, hey man, you cut all that bullshit and all that plan, because I don't know if y'all saw, but Boots lost focus for a split second when the ref told him to keep him up. This was after after the low blow, the initial low blow. Ref told him keep him up, and David Avanesyan threw a right hand. It would look like Boots barely made him miss that motherfucker. You can't be losing focus like that when you in there with a guy like Terrence Crawford. Shout out to the brother Ravens Nation in the super chat coming through and showing love. He said, I think it was more so Ennis having fun and ring rust as opposed to bad defense. That said, still got Bud if they fight. I can agree with that too. And that's why it's kind of conflicting even judging this fight. That's why, like, I don't think this a fight that you can really just judge Boots off of. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of factors. It's the ring rust, you know, the layoff. He's fighting a last minute replacement. You know, you're fighting in your hometown. All of these things you have to take into account. And then you're fighting a guy that you're a huge favorite over. Sometimes it'd be hard to get up for those fights. That's not an excuse. Because I feel like, you know, that's Teofimo Lopez's problem. He fight to the level of his competition. That's bad. You know what I'm saying? It's good when you actually got somebody in front of you, a Lomachenko, a Josh Taylor. Oh, you turning up. That's good. But when you fighting them guys that don't belong in a ring with you and you start to fight down to their level, that's not good. Because anything can happen in that ring on any given night. We all know this. Said Boots didn't respect his size either. That's a fact. He was just walking him down and pushing him back. You know what I'm saying? Doing whatever he really wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother Cesar in the building. What's good? Yeah, said Boots went crazy. Man, yeah, he got the stoppage. The fight didn't. I know that they wanted to stop him prior to the 6th round, which technically they did, because the 6th round never started. The bell for the 6th round never rang. You know what I'm saying? He didn't come out. So technically, they got the stoppage in the 5th. You know, technically. I think on BoxRec they gonna call that they gonna call that a 6th round. They probably still gonna call it a 6 because the 5th round expired. So they probably will still call it a 6. But technically though, they never entered the 6th round. So kudos to Boost for that. Said now, Bozy said 4th round. Right, but they wanted to, they called the 4th round, but they wanted to stop him before Bud and Green Machine did. You know what I'm saying? Green Machine, Mean Machine, Bean Machine. They wanted to stop him before the 6th. Said the 5th round work finished the fight. Yep. Because Mean Machine and Bud both stopped him in the 6th. if I'm not mistaken. Said just another body for Boots. Only fighter we know who gives him a challenge is Bud, but it's never gonna happen. Let me speak to that. To the brother Brian N. Let me speak to that. I can't say that we know that the only fighter that'll give him troubles is Bud. I think we know for a fact that Bud will give him problems. I mean, at least on paper and from a film perspective, that's what it looks like. But I think there's other guys that could give Boost problems too. I would love to see Boost versus Jamel Charlo at 54. You know, you lose focus against a guy like Jamel at 54. Let's forget the shit that happened at 68 when you go up two weight classes and fight Canelo. But you let a guy like Jamel hit you with them shots at 54, it could get bad for you in there. Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu has a phenomenal overhand right. Tim Tszyu has a really good right hand just in general. Boost let him, touch him with them right hands. It could get sticky in there. Virgil Ortiz. You let Virgil Ortiz touch you with some of that shit, it could get tricky in there. So, I think there's plenty of guys at 54 that got some work for Boots. Plenty. Plenty guys. I would say Green Bean Machine. I would love to see. I know a lot of y'all just don't fuck with Erickson Lubin, but I do. I still like Erickson Lubin after being, beat up a couple of times. I love Erickson Lubin's game, and I think even he could put up a good fight against Boots. It's a lot of guys, man, at 54. Boots gonna have his hands full when he get up there, man. And then y'all got to keep in mind too is that I don't think that Boots is a guy that relies on his size, but we can't sit here and act like his size doesn't help him at 47. So when you get up to 54, you're gonna have guys that's a little bit closer to you in size. So that's where the skills and the fundamental get accounted for a little bit more. Shout out to the brother Jay Harris too. Real in the building. What's good, man? Good to see you, brother. He said, "Damn, I'm late, but salute, fam. Was good. Yeah, man. We just in here talking this boxing, man. Definitely gonna have to go back and catch the replay, man. Just good conversation on Boost's performance. Just little critiques here and there. You know what I mean? Good performance overall, man. I don't think it's too much that anybody can take away from this, given the circumstances. Last minute replacement, over a year of a layoff. Fighting in your hometown. You know what I mean? This is your first big event in your hometown. It's a lot of things you got to take into account. So I'm not super judgy on Boots. For this fight right here. Said, but Boost is 27, Bud about to be 37. So yeah, it's pointless on both sides. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't think Bud ducking Boost at all. But I also don't think Bud is like clamoring and knocking down the doors trying to fight Boost for what? You know what I'm saying? If we keeping it 100, like for what? I'm in a whole nother division. I'm about to be undisputed for the only person ever to be undisputed 3 times in 3 different divisions. You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't think Bud is even, worried about Boost at all. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think he ducking him, but then at the same time, I don't think he even like trying to fight him. But like I said, for Boots, he got other things he need to be worried about. Shout out to the brother Eric Davis in the building. Was good. Shout out to my brother D Lucky back in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said Boots should harness his skill at 47 before 54. Facts. Like I said, it's a lot of money at 54. You can beat a man at 54, dog. You can beat a man at 54. You got Mario Barrios. That's a big money fight. He gonna make the biggest money he ever made in his life if they make that Barrios fight next. And then you got Stanionis. You got Brian Norman Jr. Those are the 3 main guys that I would love to see him in the ring with at 47. And then we ain't gonna even mention the other guy's name, who might be at 47 whenever he come back from that drug cheat suspension. You know what I'm saying? By that time, Boost probably been ungone. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother Ernie V in the building. What's good? You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. But yeah, man, overall, look, good performance. I'm looking forward to see what happens with Boost next. Shout out to the brother. Ooh, I don't know what that is, but I appreciate you for coming through in the super chat. I don't know if you got some what is that? Some Greek. Was that Greek or some type of Chinese, man? I don't know what that is, brother, but hey, appreciate you for pulling up. He said, I think Boost will benefit from a Bud fight regardless of the outcome. Oh, yeah, financially for sure. He gonna get his bread. He's gonna learn a lot. That's a fact. I don't think guys that take a L, your career is over. I don't subscribe to that. So I don't think it'll be bad for him just because I think he'll lose that fight right now. I just think it's so many other options for him to be able to like hone his craft and pick up some bags in the process, uh, build the notoriety, get your name out there. You know what I'm saying? Stack your bread up. Pat your record a little bit, get you some more highlight reel knockouts, and then you get in there with somebody like Bud. That way you got a little bit more skin in the game. You done been able to get your skills a little bit more sharpened. You got more experience now. You more so in your prime. He's 27 now. Let's say he fight Bud when he's 29. Now that's of course a stretch because Bud is already in his late 30s right now. So like I said, I wouldn't be trying to press it either way. If I'm Bud, I'm not trying to press for that fight right now. And if I'm Boots, I ain't trying to press for that fight right now. They two different divisions. Shout out to the brother Jay Harris, too real. Back in the super chat, coming through and showing love. He said, yeah, if I'm Bud, I'm not even wasting my time, to be honest. I love the fight, but Bud doesn't have much longer in the sport. If I'm Bud, I'm going for Undisputed and Canelo. That is a fact. If I'm Terrence Crawford, I'm going for Undisputed at 54. So I'll be the only fighter ever to be undisputed in 3 different weight classes. So I'm going for that. And then 2, I still want that Canelo fight. That's the only thing on my agenda if I'm Terrence Crawford. Undisputed at 54 and give me Canelo. That's it. That's it. For JARON Ennis to put his name in that hat, he gonna have to do something extraordinary. What is that? Okay. Extraordinary would be becoming undisputed at 47 within a year's time. I don't know how he gonna do it, but extraordinary would be becoming undisputed at 47. Let me tell you what's extraordinary. Extraordinary would be becoming undisputed at 47 before Bud become undisputed at 54. And then you move up and you directly challenge the undisputed champion at 54 as the undisputed champion at 47. That's how Boots get a fight with Bud. If he don't do nothing like that, he not getting no fight with Bud. He not getting no fight with Bud. If he can become undisputed before Terrence Crawford can become undisputed, now we talking. Now we cooking with some grease because that's going to pique a guy like Terrence Crawford's interest. Oh, he undisputed now. Oh, there's a market for that fight. Oh, they got Turkey Al-Sheikh trying to, he finna cut us a check for that? Undisputed versus undisputed? And this ain't Jermell going up to 68 to fight Canelo. This is 2 guys around the same size and 1 division apart. They both currently undisputed. Come on now. That's it right there. But if he don't do nothing extraordinary like that, you can forget a Bud Crawford fight because it just don't make no sense for him. He said that's not happening as much as That's what I'm saying, Jay Harris. That's exactly what I'm saying. All this shit is fantasy land right now because I don't see that happening. Not because I don't think Boost can do it, but it's just, when you just taking into account the business of boxing, how this shit work, how hard it is to get guys in the ring, how hard it is to coordinate fights. You know what I mean? Come on now. That should be too much like right. I'm saying that he should go after Mario Barrios next. I think that makes the most sense. But that might not even happen. You know what I'm saying? And that to me, that's realistic as fuck. So, ain't no telling with this boxing, man. But look, The battery's about to die on us, man. I don't want to leave y'all, but I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Saturday, man. It was great talking this boxing with y'all. Stay tuned. We gonna continue to build on this and talk about what's next for JARON Ennis and everybody at 147, all of the top dogs. I'm really excited about 47 and 54. I know, all of the name known guys that moved out of 47, but there's some young guys at 47 that's doing their thing, man. So Boo's gonna have a lot on this plate. You feel me? And we're gonna talk about that, man. But appreciate y'all, everybody in the regular chat, everybody in the super chat. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. And if you did hit the like button, man, I appreciate y'all. Make sure you catch that replay as well if you came in late, man. Salute. Y'all have a great night. Contender regime. Boxing, I holla at y'all boys, man.